Over and over again, we get the same old keyboard with the numpad on the right hand side, and that's what we've been used to. But now we have a lot of smaller boards that cut it off since it takes up space. And the same question comes up, why not just have it on the other side? So today we have the debut board from AEboards, the Aegis. So first of all, this is a custom keyboard design in Australia and I happen to be friends with them. But as always, I will be honest in what I say, even though I'm never really scathing. And this is a build for someone, so I wasn't just given this to review. Before we start, as always, chuck the rubber feet on first so that we don't mess this thing up. The case comes pre-assembled so that it's all safe during shipping, and this thing is a heavy boy, but let's take it apart to have a closer look and to build it. So we have three main pieces. The top piece is a solid piece of aluminium, so no flex at all, but it's the bottom piece that holds most of the weight. The anodized finish on both of these pieces is super clean, so don't mind the fingerprints and streaks, that's all me. And then the plate is made from 1.5mm brass, which is also nicely finished. It was slightly curved, but as it is sandwiched between the two alu pieces, it's no problem at all. Here's the PCB with a nice matte black solder mask and some nice branding as well. And here's the layout support, which supports split backspace and right shift. And understandably, we do have some customizability for the numpad, so you can switch it around to an actual reversed orientation. As many of us know, group buys almost always have something go wrong with them. And the one thing that did happen with this board was that there was a mistake with the bottom row. So the standard 6.25U spacebar doesn't work, so it's only 7U for now, which for most people buying a board like this wouldn't matter at all. Anyway, for the key switches, we went with Kalebox whites. The guy that I'm building this for loves clickers, and you can't really go past Kalebox switches for those. And here it is, all done, and it is an absolute beauty of a board. This is the navy blue version, and again the anode is smooth as, blemish and streak free. However, at some angles you can see that color difference between the top and bottom halves, with the bottom being slightly darker. And the brass plate is exposed from the sides a bit and all along the back, adding a streak of color. And I think it works wonderfully with the navy blue, as it is a classic color combo. And it's discreet enough that it doesn't interfere with the whole color scheme that you choose to go with. And that brings us to the keycaps. We're only borrowing this set for the video, but this is the super clean GMK 9009 key set, and we did put on the pinkish accent keys first, but I felt that the green ones worked much better personally. Everyone knows GMK for their quality, and these are 1.5mm thick ABS caps and are double shot. So the legends are another piece of plastic and will never fade away. Being ABS though, they do shine over time, but that has become kind of a want with these. Back to the design of the board, we have sizable bezels at about 13mm, so we get to show off that metal with all that surface area, and it's softened by a chamfered edge all the way around. The side profile is much more showy, again with that brass, but also that curved line which gives it a bit more character. And on the bottom row, we have the sweet branding engraved, so there is no extra brass weight that we see on many customs, although this is basically a full-sized and it does have a brass plate, and it's already bulging at over 3 kilograms. We also saw before that we get this super sweet Rama cap with the AE infill logo, and it's a great extra touch to the package as a whole. But yeah, really it's all about this layout, and it's basically like an 1800 layout, or like the Leopold FC980, which takes out that middle cluster of nav keys and squeezes in the arrow keys in between, creating this compact form factor which is similar to the size of a 10 keyless board. But of course we have the numpad switched to the left hand side. The numpad is also reversed, so we have the plus and enter keys on the left hand edge. However, being QMK configurable, we can change the orientation of the numpad, but then these arrow keys will look a bit weird. And this is really great to see because from what we've seen from left-hand numpad boards, they've kept it the normal way around. And this makes sense in so many different ways to have the numpad on the left. Firstly, in an ergonomic sense, it allows us to bring our mouse closer to the center for better arm and shoulder positioning, and it gives us more space for our mouse. And in this sense, it's kind of like a 60% keyboard. Additionally, if you do punch a heap of numbers, you'd be able to do number input while also using your mouse instead of constantly moving to and fro. Of course, it'll take time to get used to, but I think it would be quite beneficial. For gaming, it's a bit much for me. If I do game and it isn't Rocket League, then it's mainly first-person shooter games. So yeah, it's this area here that was a bit tough as expected, like the HHKB. First and foremost, we don't have the standard control key which you'd use for crouching. By default, it's on the caps lock key, and personally, I just couldn't get used to that. And if you were to remap it to this key, then yeah, that was just impossible to use. The short shift, which is often used for running, was fine to press, but it does compress your hand a little bit because it is only a 1.25U key, because it is a left shift. So overall, in regards to use, gaming is a no-go for me, but everyone of course is different. For casual use, it was absolutely fine, and I did enjoy having more real estate for my mouse. But where it shines is that left-hand numpad. Again, I'm not a huge number puncher, but I did love that two-hand operation with one on the numbers and the other on the mouse. Given time and patience, this really could become an efficiency booster for a lot of people. Again, we have the Calebox whites in this, which are lightweight clicky switches. For clickies, I can't go past the click bar action. I just feel they're so much better than the classic click jacket design used in, say, the Cherry MX Blues. We get a sharper and crispy click, but being lightweight, we don't get much of a bump. It's a bit more difficult to feel the typing characteristics of the board with clickies in comparison to, say, linears. I don't know what to say, it's extremely solid and dense, there's no ping, and it's great. So overall, I'm super impressed by the Aegis, especially since it is their first board that they've produced. And bar the one tiny issue with the 6.25U spacebar, I'd say that it was a super smooth group buy. I love the build, the quality and the finish, and the whole package and presentation, but it's the layout that's the true hero here, and this may be the sort of layout that will work for many number of people out there. And just having some variation in layouts is great to see.